So one time when I was a kid, my mother had just finished cooking dinner and she sent me next door to get my siblings because dinner was ready and they were at the neighbor's house. So I went next door to retrieve my siblings and they went back. But I stayed at my neighbor's house. I stayed for like an extra 10-15 minutes. When I got home, I was in trouble. Because if I was just sent over to my neighbor's house to get my siblings because dinner was ready, that meant dinner was ready. That means it's time to eat. So I learned how to make better judgment calls on things like determining whether I should eat with my family or spend more time at the neighbor's house. I said that to say that today I looked at Daniel chapter 5. And in this chapter is one of the worst judgment calls of all time. So in Daniel 5, we see this King Belshazzar, who is the son of King Nebuchadnezzar, which leads me to assume that by this time King Nebuchadnezzar no longer was a living. But either way, this King Belshazzar has a feast, right? And they got the wine out. And after Belshazzar tasted the wine, he was like, you know what? Get them golden chalices out that temple of Israel. That place that we conquered, yeah, there's some real nice cups. Get them out that temple. And let's drink the wine out of those cups. And so they start drinking from these cups from the temple and started praising the gods of gold, silver, bronze, iron, wood, and stone. These are idols, people. So they're drinking out of the cups from the temple, the house of God in Jerusalem. And they drink this wine and they're praising these idols. And if you ever wanted to talk about a bad judgment call, I would put that in top 3 worst judgment calls of all time. So what happens next? Well, the word says immediately the fingers of a human hand appeared and wrote on the plaster of the wall of the king's palace opposite the lampstand. And the king saw the hand as it wrote. So now King Belshazzar is suddenly crying out to all the sorcerers, the magicians, anybody who can try and figure out what these words are this hand is writing on the wall. And then the queen came in and said, hey, wait a minute, don't lose hope yet. We got somebody in the kingdom that used to interpret stuff for your father, and he had the spirit of the holy gods in him. And your father actually made him kind of a big deal because of it. So let's get Daniel. Let's see what he has to say about it. So Daniel's brought before the king and queen. And the king is like, oh, so you're Daniel, one of the exiles from Judah. I heard you have the spirit of the gods in you. Now, all these other wise men and sorcerers have tried to figure this out before you, but none of them have been able to interpret it. But I heard you know how to interpret things. So interpret this for me, and I'll give you robes and gold. And then Daniel's like, keep your gifts, but I am going to tell you what this means. And then Daniel proceeds to tell King Belshazzar, well, your father was one of the most powerful kings ever to exist ever in the history of ever. But he started getting real prideful. So God got him driven from his kingdom and made him like a beast, like an animal. He ate grass. And he dealt with these things until he gave glory to God. But you, Belshazzar, even though you knew this, have not humbled yourself. And you trying to size yourself up with the God of the universe. And you in his house and got his cups, and your lords and your wives and your concubines drunk wine from them, and you all praise all sorts of gods of all different materials, but you haven't once honored the God who is the reason you're breathing right now. And then Daniel interpreted what the writing on the wall said. If you want the whole interpretation, go read Daniel chapter 5. Your time is just about up as a king, and your kingdom about to be split up. And so King Belshazzar gets the robes and the gold, and gives Daniel the stuff he promised. And that night, King Belshazzar is unalived, and his kingdom is split between the Medes and the Persians. And that's a brief synopsis of Daniel chapter 5. Now, do y'all see my face? Do y'all see my face coming back? It's like happening like right now as we speak. I'm regaining movement in my face. And I say glory to God in the highest. Love you. Good night.